do pin moving with the boys.
Forgot the audio. We are quite the mess today.
Oh my god, yeah.
Welcome back to the podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
It feels like it's been a minute.
It has. It's because we had that issue with the audio the one week, and then we filmed the podcast midweek for the next week. And
Yep.
It's all over the place for us recently.
Yeah.
It's a doomy gloomy day out here in Salt Lake. So
kind of happy it is, honestly.
I know we needed a day off. We've been getting after it too much.
It's not even like that. It's just been like, it feels like I've been in, oh my gosh. You're not helping with this. Hold on. I feel like I've been in a fondue pot the past week.
Yeah.
It's been so hot.
Yeah.
Oh well.
It's been warm. We've been out discing. Ian played in this first tournament this week. Well, first sanctioned tournament of the year this week.
Yeah.
The Masters of the Mountain. Let us know how it went.
Okay, so it's disc golf Masters Tour, Masters of the Mountain up at Midway, the Wonder. I gotta sneeze. Oh god. Woo!
Was it sponsored by Elevate Utah?
No, but Elevate was help putting it on.
Yeah.
So Scott Belichick was up there. Some other Elevate Utah guys were up there. Yeah. So. Oh, hold on. Sorry. There's a freaking tissue right here, I guess.
Like I said, we're
Oh my
struggling.
gosh. Yeah,
we're
it's been a
struggling
struggle
today.
box today. Okay, so, yeah, I don't want to go too deep into it because we do have a full YouTube video coming out on
Yeah.
it, but,
Just touch on, how you felt. What was it like going into the tournament
Yeah.
this week? First sanctioned tournament of the year is always
a little stressful.
a little stressful. Yeah.
Okay, so Saturday we got up there early.
Way too early.
It was fine though.
Yeah.
I kind of enjoyed it. I think that actually helped like calm the nerves a little bit. Whereas Sunday, like we got there like I don't know, maybe 5 minutes later than we probably could have, but whatever. Saturday, get there, had plenty of time. We walked a few holes, saw Mike, saw some cards play through, and just got to the first hole and like was nervous. But as soon as I stepped up there, it was just like play your game. And I hadn't thrown a disc yet. I'd only putted so far.
Yeah, there was nowhere to really like warm up throwing or anything.
There
There
wasn't.
wasn't even like a practice basket. Like somebody brought up a basket to practice putting on.
Yeah.
So
So first throws of the day, are always rough. That's why we had two off the top.
yep.
But day one, Dave was just like, dude, play for par and you'll win this thing. So that's what we were trying to do. And I didn't have a single birdie, but I only had
You technically had a birdie, but that's because the
technically.
holes were messed up. They screwed up the scores. So hole 9 should have been a 4, not a 3.
Yep.
But hole 12 ended up being a 4 and a 3, and you 3'd both of them anyway. So
Yeah.
you still had a birdie. It just would have been 9 instead of 12.
Yeah.
but it didn't really feel like it.
Yeah. Yeah, 9, I mean, I think even an MA3 should play as par 3. I think that's a tough par 3. Maybe not, maybe MA2,
Yeah,
but
it's hard to go for the pin on that one.
yeah.
It's easy to make the island. It's hard to go for the basket.
Yeah. So just like trying to get the nerves out. First few holes were definitely nervy. And I stepped to the par 4, the fourth hole,
Hmm.
and I finally I was like, okay, I'm actually throwing the disc now. I'm not like tunnel shooting.
Yeah,
And that's when I think the nerves finally got out, and I was just going. Like I was in rhythm for the most part, and the consistent thing Saturday was I was just pulling everything right, because I like hadn't thrown this all day.
yeah. You're trying to juice it a little too much, I think. And
Yeah, and then shot okay. Like I shot 5 over with a bad double on 15, where I had nowhere to go after my tee shot. I literally had almost pitch out backwards. I think I advanced 2 feet up the fairway.
yeah,
Um, I hit top of top of
hit-
cage.
no, you jump putted from like 80 feet,
Yep,
hit top of the basket, skipped off the top of the basket,
Yep.
like 35 long.
yep. And then I made the comeback putt though. No, that's what
That's
it
where
was.
the double was.
That's where the double was.
Yeah,
So besides that, like it really was like a good round. And then Sunday, I had the expectation of like, okay, you saw what you did wrong yesterday. Like I was like, Dave, let's pick me up earlier. But it was a 10-minute earlier tee time. Pick me up 20 minutes earlier. Went to a field, threw a few shots. Left a little lumpy there all day.
left a little lumpy all day.
That sucked. And then we get up there, realize I don't have lumpy, and for the first 4 holes I was even. I birdied 1 and then bogeyed the par 4. My first upshot. My drive was great. I just caught a low hanging branch like 2 inches left of my aim point,
Yeah,
and if I get around that, I probably birdie the hole.
yeah. You get up past where like the trees kind of clog. Honestly, you have a look at the short pin.
Mm-hmm.
That I think the women's were playing to the short pin there,
Mm-hmm.
and that gives you a more open upshot versus
Yeah.
you being stuck behind those like couple little trees that were there.
Yeah, with
real tight. You either go over the top and like hope and pray that you don't stall something out, or
Yeah.
you do what you did and try to get through it.
Yeah. And then hole 5 comes around, and
The nerves caught up to
oh
you.
yeah, the nerves really caught up to me then, and then the rest of the round from there was just like 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7 were bogeys, 8 par, 9 birdie, 10, which should be like a jump putt hole,
Yeah,
like for par. I ended up bogeying. It's just like that's when I really like started getting frustrated, is hole 10. And then hole 17, I think I played okay through the rest of that.
hmm
I played some pars, and then hole 17, I knew all I had to do was bogey birdie or par to get third, and I double bogey, just from missing a putt right side, and I'd lost concentration at that point. I also think I was just so dehydrated. Like
yeah,
I should just drinking more water all weekend. It was so hot up there.
yeah. For being up in the mountains in an elevation like 80 to 85 is really hot in the fucking
Yeah.
mountains. Like you don't realize it.
Yeah. And then 18, I just step up. I'm like, dude, you got nothing to lose. And I actually threw a disc for the first time. It felt
Yeah.
like all day. And
You got back to the like hole 1, 2, and 3 where you were committing to your shot.
yeah,
Like you didn't let the nerves get the best of you. You kind of just like
yeah.
let.
I would say like until that putt on 5, I was committing to every shot.
Yeah.
Like I didn't soft any shots, and then
Yeah.
I don't know, that putt on 5 definitely sucked. And then going
How would you say your like take all the holes out of it? What was your overall impression of the weekend? Like don't worry about anything specific, you know.
good, because I played way better at that course than I did last year when we played states.
Mm-hmm.
Played way better,
A
and
very similar layout.
I think it was, yeah, except for I think 2 holes.
Yeah. Hole 9, you guys didn't play from the top,
No.
and maybe one or two other holes were a little bit different, but pretty much the same
Pretty
layout.
much the same layout except hole 9 and
It was four.
4 was that same one. It was par
Okay.
4.
I played a different layout than you guys during state,
Yeah.
so
I think
it's
no,
pretty
I
much
think
just 9.
I think it was just 9. Yeah.
Nice.
Maybe the hill hole.
Okay.
We might have played that further back as a par 4 though.
Yeah.
So other than that, pretty similar layout, and I think I shot like 10, 11 strokes better than I did last year.
Yeah.
On let's say a 2-stroke easier layout.
If that, yeah.
Yeah. So I was pretty happy. Came tied for 4th, which I was very upset about yesterday because I'm like, if that second round went the way I wanted it to, I would have been in the lead. And then, or at least been in contention. But it was a great weekend. I had super fun. You carried my bag all weekend, so
I did caddy.
it was.
I was trying to keep it light. I was making some jokes out there for everybody.
Yeah, no, you definitely
spotting on some holes, cracking some jokes,
Yeah.
trying to keep it light and fun.
No, it was.
We had a good card both days.
Yeah,
Got to play with a guy named Drew, who it was his first tournament ever.
yeah, and he did good.
He did pretty
He
good.
did pretty
Yeah,
good for his first tournament.
he learned some things.
Yeah,
like
there was
OBs and stuff like that, but
OBs, minis, and like, I told him like, dude, like, I know it's your first tournament. It's your
Yeah.
third hole.
Yeah.
Like, just put a mini down.
Yeah,
like,
just mark your discs.
like, it's your first tournament. I'm gonna let it slide. We're in MA3. I don't really care that much.
Yeah.
And then we played with Brett.
Brett both days.
Brett
who
both days.
ended up winning.
Brett Lewis.
Yeah.
Great guy. Brett, if you're out there, you're awesome.
Brett's super fun. I've played a few rounds with him in the past.
Mhm.
He's super fun to play with.
mm,
I think it helped that he had the big tomahawk shot on a few holes.
Yep.
He's able to go up and over some of the tight tunnels.
Yep. Totally. And then what else? Played with Jeff and Kyle.
We played with Jeff and Kyle last day.
Uh-huh.
Kyle was also tied with the other tie
Yep.
for the lead.
Yeah, so they went into a playoff, went 17-18 on a loop till they finished, and they only did one loop. And Kyle grip locked his putt for par on 18, made it a bogey, and Brett took it away with par. So congrats, Brett. That was awesome.
Hell yeah.
And then I'm gonna shout out Hayden. Seeger. He finished 7th, but that's the homie. He'll be in the video that comes out Friday, so like 4 days.
Yep.
From this, great guy. I love Hayden.
Yeah. He's fun to play with.
yeah.
He was trying to steal me as a caddy for the weekend.
He was, and then until like an hour before I went to bed Friday night, we were on the same card. I'm like, let's go! I get to play with Hayden, and he didn't look like where I was.
He thought you were still.
No, he didn't even like look who was on his card. He just looked at his time. And I show up Saturday. I'm like, dude, we were like, someone signed up last minute. If they didn't sign up, we were gonna be on the same card.
Yeah.
And he's like, wait, really? I'm like, yeah. Oh well, but I'll get to play with him soon enough.
Yeah.
I don't know if he signed up for Beehive. Can we check?
You can go to his PDGA and
hold on.
see what he signed up for next. But that is our next tournament is the Beehive Classic. He signed up for the Save the Island this weekend. Just click on next events. No, go back.
Yeah, wait.
But
I don't think it's gonna show because he has a tournament this weekend.
no.
Oh well.
But yeah, that's our next tournament, and that one I'm competing in that one.
Yeah, so you're doing
That's
MA,
my first MA2.
MA2.
Yep. Just because fits my rating, first tournament of the year. Kind of where I should be. I played a lot of MA1 last year just because of obviously like they get to play different layouts sometimes.
Yeah.
So like during states, I know I can at my top level I can compete. Like I've shot like 975 rated rounds. So it's not that I can't compete with them. It's more so I like playing different layouts on courses.
Yeah.
So for states, MA1 got to play Brighton twice instead of the Wonder twice.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I'd kind of rather do this. But I think right now I'm just going to keep it easy, stay in my division, and then slowly work my way back up.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. I'm excited to go play the fort,
Yeah,
North Fort layout. Hopefully, it's not too flooded.
I hope not. I don't think it should be. I think most of the snow melt's gone.
Yeah,
And it looks like we're gonna have good weather, but it's also just far enough away we can't really tell yet.
yeah,
So I'm excited for Beehive. We have a lot of like Salt Lake guys going up there, so it'll be good.
yeah. We'll try to get some footage of the MPO guys for that one too, because that one will be fun to watch.
Yeah. And I would, uh, dude, I'll go caddy for any of those MPO guys.
Yeah,
On, I guess it's Friday, Saturday, because it's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday tournament instead of Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But oh well. Okay. Good. Moving on.
yeah.
Okay, Portland Open. Paige Pierce.
Paige is back, baby.
Paige is back.
Paige is back. She got 5th at OTB,
Mm-hmm.
and then finally pulled out a win this week. She looks like she's throwing again,
Yep.
like her old self, kind of.
Yep.
The confidence seems to be back. She's not. Obviously, when you come back from an injury, like I only sprained my ankle, I didn't break anything like she did.
Yeah.
But you're always a little tentative at first, and
Yeah.
a little soft on it. So it's good to see her play.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be fun to watch when Kristen gets back, having both Paige at her top and Kristen at her top, kind of competing.
Yeah.
I think that'll be awesome.
Yeah, I'm super stoked to see Paige back. I mean, she freaking crushed it. Holland played well. Sophie Dunkick? Donkey.
Donkey,
Donkey, is that how you say that?
Donachie,
Not donkey. I was about to be like Donkey. She played really well.
course record 10 under round 2,
That's insane. But bogey free too.
bogey free. Yep,
That's awesome.
absolutely crushed it. Canadian,
Canadian.
eh?
Hey, we might need to be watching out for them Canadians, Yeah, and then Holland and Hamlin honestly made a great push.
Yeah, I mean Paige kind of let go at the end too. Like
Yeah.
if you look at her final, what she finished with her last hole was like a triple bogey, double bogey.
Yeah.
Like she seemed to kind of let off the gas pedal at the end and let it.
Mm-hmm.
She was never in like she was never gonna lose, but
Yeah.
she also kind of I
Like,
felt like let up a little bit and was like, okay,
Sure.
I can win. Let's just play a little conservative.
Sure.
And it's like, I think if the field's a little bit closer, she has to keep the gas on. We get
Mhm.
to see that like real top tier.
totally. Yeah. Okay, MPO. Gannon Burr.
Ran away with it.
No, he didn't run away with it. He robbed a bank in Europe and was in Africa 20 minutes later. Like the dude was flying away with it.
Yeah.
It was insane. He had a 10-stroke lead going into the final day. Yeah.
He crushed it out there. It was fun to watch. I
It's-
mean, it's a big course, right? It's a golf course. Obviously, the stronger throwers are gonna do well generally out
Yeah.
there. But it's nice to see him put together and just be like, yeah, this is top of where it could be kind of thing.
Yeah, totally. Gannon played great all weekend. I think
Yeah.
people had rounds that were great.
Yeah.
And if they had even that round and a little shittier round, they could be competing with Gannon. But it just shows the consistency of the kid.
Yeah.
Like he throws a disc a million miles an hour.
Well, and it shows what you have to do for the weekends, right? Like
Mhm.
you can't just have one good round or like two good rounds, especially over being a plus event, having 4 rounds. Like he had 4 very good rounds.
Yeah.
Like you kind of have to put a whole week together.
Yeah. Well, it's like kind of what happened to me this weekend. It's like one day you show up to drive, next day you show up to putt. Like Cole on the final day was making everything within 50 feet, which was insane.
Yeah.
I think there was a 70-foot putt that he made. It was like,
Is that a putt at that point?
well, with his motion. At
Yeah.
70, with those guys, yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause like, as soon as you start throwing it a little more,
Yeah.
it's a throw. But yeah, no, it was a putt
Yeah.
from Cole. So, yeah. Cole played great.
Cole played great. Ricky's still at the top there.
Mhm.
Gooseman making his way up.
Rep in Colorado, baby. Rep in Colorado. Yeah, Goose had a good final round. Bogey free, but could have grabbed a few more birdies.
Yep.
The
Isaac
one
Calvin,
thing,
everybody else that you're expected to see it near the top, except
yeah,
for
let me
one
s-
person.
Anthony Barella, tied for or solo 44th place. Round 1, 5 under. Round 2, 3 under. Round 3, 5 under. Final round.
+8.
That's
What
a
the
that's a colorful scorecard.
Not in a good way
No.
though. Like
No, it's like you know how everyone's like, what's the ice cream that like
Neapolitan.
Neapolitan? It's like your sunburned Neapolitan instead of the ice cream Neapolitan.
Yeah.
Um,
A lot of bogeys, a lot of doubles.
so his first birdie was on hole 7. His first par was on hole 6, and he bogeyed 1 through 4 and doubled 5.
Yeah.
That's how I felt.
That was your middle stretch.
That was my middle stretch right there.
Yeah.
But like he went OB or off the fairway his first 4 drives. Didn't scramble well at all.
Yeah.
It seems like his putting was there. It's just he wasn't throwing the disc.
No. I don't know what happened to him on that last round. Obviously, he wasn't on coverage, at least that we were able to see. So I didn't get to watch a whole lot of his blow up round. But I'd be interesting to see what actually happened. Like if he was going through something mentally, or like if he wasn't feeling like, because that just doesn't seem like an AB thing to do, unless there's you're playing at the European Open and there's the one hole where you got to make the island or rethrow.
Yeah, I mean, is it, that's one hole though, but
Yeah.
where does this come in throughout a whole event or a whole round, let's say, right?
Mm-hmm.
We all have good and bad rounds, right?
Yeah.
But for AB to go -5, -3, -5 to +8
Yeah.
is pretty shocking.
Yeah. It something had to have happened is what
Yeah.
it feels like.
Yeah, it was. I wonder if he got injured or something, or like
Yeah.
tweaked something.
Wasn't feeling well. A million different things, but
Yeah,
I don't know. It
Oh.
just seems a little bit
doesn't
extraordinary.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like an AB thing to me.
No.
Also, I want to talk about this man, Drew Gibson. If he'll ever load. Oh my gosh, PDJ live. There it is. Okay, Drew Gibson.
Also +4 final round.
+4 final round. Maybe it was just a wind ripping.
Yeah.
But we saw Drew the first 2 rounds the way we used to see Drew play, which was throw big bombs, make putts. Throw big bombs, make putts.
Yep.
And show what a disc can do instead of what a disc should do.
Yes.
Insane.
It was great to watch. He seemed to be hitting his stride out there, having fun, just like old Drew Gibson, right?
Yeah.
Like you said. He was in contention with Gannon first 2 rounds.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Boys were going at it, but
They were. And I think on a course like this, there are, I'm going to say 3 for sure, but 4 people who can put a fight up with Gannon on a course like this. Drew Gibson, Anthony Barella,
Yep.
Ricky,
Yep.
Ezra, 8-year-old.
Eagle when he's healthy.
Eagle when he's healthy. Okay, so,
Or Simon if he's there.
yeah.
I think there's a couple people, but yeah, it's the big
arm.
big arm people, yeah.
Yeah. It was great to see Drew back. I think his elbow injuries or elbow or shoulder. I thought it was elbow.
I think it's elbow.
His elbow injury is finally healing up. Yeah, Drew is elbow, Eagle is shoulder.
Yeah.
Looks like it's finally healed, and he played great disc golf.
Yeah.
The first 2 rounds. Round 3, didn't
3
quite
under
go
still
as
not bad.
Yeah, 3 under bogey free, still a great round, and
Yeah.
then his final round, just
Couldn't get a birdie.
Yeah, couldn't get it quite put together. So, oh well.
No. It's fun to watch. I'm more excited for this coming weekend for Beaver State.
Yeah.
Mostly because I played both Milo MacGyver East and West, so
Yeah.
like I know a couple of the holes and I could see them and like watching those guys throw and be like, holy crap, like how the hell did you land there?
Yeah.
Like,
Totally.
and it's a fun little like scrambly course too. Makes you
Mhm.
throw weird like turnover lines and stuff.
Yeah.
I like it because it's a little more wooded and like it's not necessarily mountainous, but you do feel like you're in the hills.
Sure.
So it's like you get a little bit more of that versus the golf course. So
Sure.
I think I'm more excited for Beaver this weekend.
Yeah. I'm excited for Beaver because our buddy Nick's playing.
Nick is playing.
Nick played. He played this weekend in Portland Open. I texted him. He did not have the best rounds, but you know, there's difference between pros and
Yeah.
local pros. And he was like, yeah, it's every par three on tour is 500 feet.
Yeah.
Like especially at a course like that where it's just open. So he said he struggled a little bit, but he had fun, and yeah, I'm excited to see Nick play Beaver State because he said
I think he'll do a little bit better here.
yeah, that's the course that he says that fits my play style better. So I'm rooting and cheering for Nick.
Hell yeah.
I was supposed to go up in caddy and it just didn't happen. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of bummed about that, but oh well.
It happens.
So okay, moving on.
It's your favorite topic of the day.
I'm very excited about
You're
this.
so excited.
I'm so excited.
You didn't even text me about it. You just like posted it to the Instagram. It was just like, no, we're getting it. Like
Yeah.
we're doing this thing.
So Trash Panda has officially released their first fairway driver.
Yep.
Not a distance driver, fairway driver called the Ozone. It's I'm gonna try and remember this. 8.5 -3.1.
No.
Did I get it wrong?
I think so.
Oh no! Wait, did I just?
Isn't it a -4, Ben? The ozone?
Oh my God! Trash Panda. Sorry, am I gonna be? I swear it's -3.
I swear you're wrong. Oh, it is negative. Damn
Let's go!
it.
Let's go! 8.6
-3.1.
-3.1.
Yeah.
So did you watch Jesse's video that he
I
put
did,
out?
yeah.
Okay, so Jesse was saying he was almost gonna put it as a -2, but like they do all the simulations like in the wind tunnels and stuff for how it flies,
Yeah.
and these were the flight numbers. But he almost put it as -2 just because he's at elevation in Colorado, and
It
this-
flies more like a -2 in Colorado.
and it probably
Yeah.
flies like a -2 here as
Yep.
well. So, I'm super excited about this disc. I love Trash Panda discs. I had a Dune in the bag this weekend.
You did, especially for elevation.
Yeah, for elevation, their discs in elevation are great.
Yeah, they glide. They go very straight. They
Mhm.
don't usually want to dump left or right. Like they're meant for your everyday player, not your pros, and
Sure.
that's what I like about them too.
Yeah.
Like you can give somebody you could probably give a beginner an ozone and they'll be able to throw it.
Totally.
You give them a destroyer, it's
Not
going
gonna happen.
nowhere.
Yeah. Well, like I don't know. I gave people intercourse to throw.
Yep.
And they love it.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited. I did order one.
Yep.
We will be reviewing it when it gets here. I did not look at the tracking number yet, so
No, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see when it gets in.
I hope it's this week. We can do it Sunday.
It'd be fun.
That'd be super fun. Yeah. But going on to this, Ben, you want to come over here? Momentarily. Okay. Ben has a topic for us today.
Yes.
And we can start us out.
We could talk about what our, what we think ours are.
Mm-hmm.
So, talking about elevation discs in Utah, certain things tend to sell a little bit better here than in other places. I feel like, just because it is that like, you want something that's going to be a little more glidey, a little bit
Sure.
flippy, like not necessarily like truly flippy, but like pushes.
Yeah.
So for me, I noticed that I bag a lot of understable stuff just because of being up here. And one of the easier things to find was always MVP fission plastic. It was always more lightweight. little bit flippier stuff. So like I bagged a lot of MVP.
Yeah.
Plus they sponsored a lot of local tournaments up here when I first started playing. So that's how I got into throwing a lot of that. And then I started to branch out a little bit more, but it was mostly like MVP, Discraft, and like maybe a couple Innova discs here or there, but not so much, not as much.
You don't have any Innova discs in your
I have a Firebird. That's pretty much it. I used to have a T-Bird, but that's coming out of the bag. I mean, I've found so many fairway replacements that I like more than the T-Bird.
Totally.
Like I used to bag the Exodus, and then I gave that to you.
Well, that's
I've moved
even
that.
though it's Infinite made, it's a different company, but yeah.
Yeah, it's T-Bird Eagle-esque style disc kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I feel like in Utah we do have Infinite up in Logan, so we do have like that. Like Infinite's a little more prominent here too.
Yeah,
so
sure.
I've had a lot of Infinite discs in and out of the bag as well.
Yeah.
So for me, that's what I've seen, and only recently have I started throwing like when we got Clash and stuff like that out of the mystery box. I had never thrown Clash or anything like that before.
Keep going. I'm gonna grab 2 things.
Yeah. But like certain things just do better here, I feel like, than other places. I know Ben loves selling the hell out of some buzzes, so that's probably their most popular disc here. It is a great disc. What are you back there grabbing, sir?
I have a comparison I want to make real quick.
Okay.
Okay, so my first I've thrown a race since pretty much the day I started disc golf. But it was my stable, like my overstable driver, because I didn't know how to throw, you know? I picked up a Star Sidewinder. I don't have my bag with me, or else I would go grab mine.
Yeah.
But I picked up a Star Sidewinder, yellow. I think my first 2 were actually pink, and then I got a yellow one. But the Star Sidewinder and this Sphinx have the same numbers, okay? And the Star Sidewinder was my straight, maybe a little turn dump disc for a long time, and now it's become, I'm going to put this thing on hyzer, it's going to flip up, and it's going to turn, and maybe just fight back to flat, but it's not going to burn back.
Yeah.
Whereas the Sphinx, these are the same flight numbers, and this might just be, the numbers they gave them, but I have the same Halo Sphinx at home, this Bonanza one, and this thing was this mega beat up. So this coming out of, like, when I first got my new Sidewinder, I was putting it on hyzer and it would flip up and turn and dump. And I bet if I take these out to the course right now, this is going to do something similar. Yeah. Whereas this is a roller for me. And we're not at a super high elevation here. We're only at 4.4, 4.5, 4.6, somewhere in there.
Right. Yeah, 4.6 right now.
4.6. Whereas, like, in Denver, they're literally a mile high.
Yeah. I mean, we do have course. The Wonder last weekend was at, like, 6.5, almost 7.
Yeah.
And when we go play Solitude and Brighton, we're at 9.10.
Yeah.
Like, we're up there in the mountains. So
for sure.
There is a drastic difference in Utah, but you're still at elevation.
Yeah. And, like, going up to Brighton and playing up there, like, these go in my bag a lot more than they do down here in the valley. Yep. And I don't think I would throw either of these at sea level. I just couldn't.
No. I remember when I went to sea level for the first time, my arm, I was throwing maybe like 320, 350 if I threw like the best drive ever. Mm-hmm. And I was throwing that Blizzard Wraith. Yeah. That was in my bag. It was like a 157 Blizzard Wraith. And I went down to sea level and I would like hyzer flip it and like it wouldn't fight out at all. And I was like, oh man, I got the full flight out of this thing. Like that was my straight driver at the time. And it was wild to see like the difference between discs when you move up and down in elevation and what they do and everything.
Well, like going to Flagstaff too, like me and Jack, whenever I go visit him down in Flagstaff, I'd be like, dude, it feels stable up here. It feels stable. Yeah. Like, nah, man, we're only at 7,000. Like, it's a lot of elevation right there. Yeah. Even like compared to here, like that's a lot. Yep. So, I have not thrown a disc at sea level in a long time. Like 2 year and a half, pretty much. And it was Alaska when I was still throwing baby arms.
Yeah, mine was last year. Probably not Christmas, but last fall when I went back to Jersey to visit my parents.
Yeah.
I always try to get around in with some of my old friends that picked up disc golf during the pandemic as well.
Yeah.
And I'll just meet up with them and be like, hey, bring me a couple discs. Like, I'll fly out with like a couple, like, usually like a Firebird or my Onyx or something very stable.
Yeah.
And just like 2 or 3 discs. And then I'll have them bring me like a bag of stuff.
Totally.
And they'll always give me like a diamond or a sapphire, like
Yeah.
super flippy stuff that's like, I can't, this is fine up in Solitude, but down here, like, I
Yeah.
can't throw this.
For sure.
So it's always fun to play like a weird round kind of whenever I go home, but
Yeah.
it's so brief. Like,
Totally.
I never have my full bag.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't tell you what half my discs do when I go down
Yeah.
to sea level.
Well, I think that's why I fell in love with the Rune. Is because when I first started throwing it, it was at sea level.
Oh,
It
really?
was, yeah, it was, I ordered it to a P.O. box in Valdez, Alaska, of all places. Took a month and a half to get there.
Damn.
It still got it. And then, like, that was my putter at the time, too, but I was also throwing it for
Yeah.
upshots. And I was like, this thing is money. And up here, it's just not the same. I think it flies probably how it did with my arm speed up here as it did back then when I was at sea level. But, like,
Yeah.
that's why I love the thing, because it would just go straight forever.
Yep.
Or I put it on, 10 degrees of hyzer, it's going to go on 10 degrees of hyzer the whole way.
Yeah. It doesn't want to flip. It doesn't want to fade.
Yeah.
But it does kind of just die.
Yeah.
Like,
just-
once it loses speed, it just
Yeah.
drops.
And that's why I love it.
Yeah.
So,
Very Berg-esque.
do you think... Oh, wait, I got to tell the people. I haven't told them yet.
Oh, no?
There was a Eric Oakley
These things are so soft.
Berg in the used rack the other day, and I bought it. I never thought I would. I've thrown it 3 times.
I don't think I've thrown it yet.
I'm not gonna say my opinion yet, but yeah. No, yeah.
We'll have to do a review on that then.
No, we're not doing that.
Oh, yes, we will.
Oh, I'm gonna die. But being at elevation, things are definitely more
Yeah.
stable.
I feel like certain people don't throw certain things up here too, right? Like, I don't really see a whole lot of people throwing Prodigy out here.
Nope.
Um,
Yeah, I think there's like 2 guys on the course that are like, they will only throw Prodigy, but everyone else is like, nah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I need more food.
Well, and I feel like smaller brands out here tend to work a little bit better too. Like, I like throwing my crossbow. Like, obviously, Yikun's a little less popular, but like, I know you and a couple other people we met on the course like throwing Viking discs.
Mm-hmm.
Castoplast is kind of bigger out here. I've seen a lot of people throwing Castoplast.
MVP huge.
MVP is massive in Utah.
I think that's partly to do with Chaz and what he's like, working with MVP and all that stuff.
Well, most of the sponsored events too are MVP a lot of the time. So
Where does that come from? Chaz. Most
Yeah.
times.
Because I remember my first couple tournaments I played in where like they give you it was either infinite or MVP discs, which basically what I got for signing up for tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
I remember last year it was like every tournament I signed up for I got a glitch for. Because they were just giving those things out like hotcakes.
Well, as it should.
Yeah. But
I'm trying to think what other like funky. I think Clash is kind of a little bit bigger.
Flash has started to pop off a little bit.
Yeah, Clash has started to pop off a little bit.
Also with the tones that they've been doing now. The new disc technology.
I like how that one feels.
Do you?
Yeah.
I think that's also what helps out here is people like trying out new things. So the second you get in something that they're like, oh, we did this like weird overmold thing. It's their new tone technology that they claim. Everybody goes, cool, I need to try that out. Like, it's something new, it's something different. And Salt Lake seems to be a very like open to new stuff and trying it out and just seeing how things fly. I think because it's also just a much younger community.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna stand up for a little bit because. Yeah. Well, I've been sitting all day. It feels like, even though I walked through Costco for like an hour and a half and got food.
Minimum hour. Doing Costco runs.
Oh my god. I actually think we bought like 8 things and we were still in there for an hour and a half.
I do that all the time.
I hate Costco. I was so
love
stressed out in
Costco.
there. I was like, we were in there, and this is so off topic. Sorry, I'm gonna say it now before I forget. I got one of their chicken breads or whatever.
Chicken bake.
Chicken bake. Oh my god, I love those things. And I'm sitting there waiting for the food, and there was like 200 people within like 30 feet of me, and I'm just like, why? Just go away.
It is always kind of a shit show in there. Like, it's always popular. It's always, but I don't know. They just always have stuff that I want. Like, you can't walk through there and be like, man, I really want to get this, but I probably shouldn't. And then next thing you know, you got a fucking shopping cart full.
Oh, dude.
Like,
there's this ramen company.
is the one that comes in the big containers and it's like brown with the like spicy tonkatsu?
Not brown. It's like black and red.
Oh, the Shin.
Yeah, the
Dude, Shin ramen.
They had, I think it was like 20 packs for $17.
Yeah.
I bought one, and it is sitting on my counter at home.
Yeah. Shin ramen's really good. I really like the tonkatsu, the spicy tonkatsu ramen they have there too. Not a Costco review.
Before you guys get off topic.
Not a Costco review, but you know.
Come join. Ben, welcome back.
Thank you.
Good to have you.
Yeah, thanks. Good to have you guys back here. in
I
the
feel like I
shop,
actually haven't been in here in like a week.
Well, you've been working.
I know.
You got a job.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of us didn't.
Yeah.
If anybody's hiring, let me know.
Yeah. So what were you guys talking about? What were your guesses as to like biggest brands in Utah?
We were
MVP.
saying MVP is probably the biggest one that
Okay.
most people have, just because I know when I first started playing during the pandemic, every tournament was like sponsored by Infinite or MVP.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of the discs that I got into when I first started out.
Yeah.
That and Discraft, just because Discraft has one of the biggest followings. And
Sure.
that's been a lot of what I've seen people throw.
And we said Prodigy was near the bottom.
Okay.
I think I've only met 2 guys who were like, I need the Prodigy discs. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
So,
go for it.
here, talk for 4 more seconds about other brands.
You're good.
Small brands that you think are big, and then I'll pull some stuff.
I have a little insight into it just because I asked Ben earlier last week about some of the brands that he sells, at least here.
Mhm.
But I know, like I said, as far as I've seen, like out in the course, people throwing, you know, Castaplast is probably one of the biggest smaller brands that
Okay.
I see people throw a lot of.
Yeah.
Shout out, I know Matt, who played last weekend in MPO, or this past weekend in MPO. He throws a lot of Castaplast.
Mhm.
There's a lot of people out here that kind of like
And
certain bags.
people throw some Infinite too. Like
Yeah.
I know the alpacas are big out here. Like those are people love those putters out here.
Yeah.
Great.
Um,
Okay, you ready?
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
ready.
Okay. If you had to bet your next week's income, on
Wait, I don't work this week, so
Okay,
it
great.
won't matter.
So if you had to bet $4,000 on what do you think the number one seller at their shop, and thus let's just say like representative of the Salt Lake Valley or the Utah community at whole, is in terms of just numbers. And let's not say like gross numbers, but like just units. So discs. What brand?
Are we talking new and used or just new?
Just new, because used is impossible to track.
I have 2 in mind.
I know you're number one selling disc though, is the thing. So I don't know.
I'm gonna say it's Discraft, but MVP and Discraft are like touching butts up
Yeah.
there.
And it is tricky too, because the way that I do it in the store, because technically Axiom,
Yeah.
MVP, Streamline,
Yeah.
all different brands.
Technically.
You know, so yes.
Well, I know your number one selling disc was the Rolo.
Thank you, Joseph
So-
Phillips.
So that does play a way into it, but I think it is probably Discraft just because the sheer amount of discs that they have.
It is.
Yeah.
So Discraft's at the top. We've sold 1,284 Discraft discs, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. I think they just have a lot of molds, especially when they did their
Yeah, Tour
tour
series,
series.
big release days.
Yeah.
And they've been putting out some great stuff. Like the Drive is awesome.
Oh, it's amazing.
The Swarm, when I first started throwing it, I was not a fan, and now it is in my bag probably indefinitely. Pretty sweet new mold from them. Axiom is a close second. So Axiom, I think, and the reason for that is because they've got all their Simon line stuff.
Yep.
So Pixels, but they also have the Envy.
Yep.
They've got the Proxy. They've got the Crave. They've got the Insanity, which are like really MVP's pretty hot molds right now. On like the MVP side of things, it's just Like if you think about their hotter sellers, it's like the Photon.
Yeah.
And then they have like
The Wave.
the
The Wave.
Nomad as their putter and the Wave, but I don't think they're quite as flashy of a brand. And it goes to prove, I think, too, that disc golfers care a lot about aesthetic of the disc and like
Oh,
the colored rims,
yeah.
man, huge difference.
Well, and
So,
like the glow plastics and everything like that, like
Yeah.
when they come out with their big glow lines.
yeah, and I think it shows too because Axiom has over 2 times, almost 3 times as many discs sold as MVP does
Really?
in here.
Oh.
And close third. Biggest name in the brand, really, or in terms of like
Innova.
Innova.
Yeah.
Yeah, Innova's right there. And then this is where it starts to get really interesting. So it goes Innova, MVP, and then after MVP, this is the one that like kind of shocked me because their discs are a little pricey right now. And that's not necessarily because they're trying to make them pricier, but it's just because they can't ship enough over here from Finland. And that is Clash. Yeah.
No, really?
Yeah, Clash. So it goes after MVP, it's Clash. In terms of like units.
I like to think that was Ian and I.
Well, it's
You want a
rad,
little-
but like the thing is too, it's like ultra impressive. I think because I don't carry in terms like they just don't have as many molds as all these other brands do. So like
Yeah.
just the amount of discs that I could possibly even have on a rack, not near as high.
Well, and like I said earlier, I think it helps too that they've come out with like the tone technology where it's like something different, something new
Right.
that people are like, oh, cool, I need to try this out.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, their plastic feels absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
I love that new like swirly
Yeah.
stuff that they did with the steadies.
Yeah. They call it Steady Ring.
Yeah,
is
the
their
steady ring.
aesthetic touch on it.
Like to me, I see this disc and I go, that's really pretty. It's cool. Feels real nice.
You're not gonna lose it.
Like,
it's easy
yeah.
to find.
Their plastic
like-
really, really, really reminds me of Castaplast's K1 plastic, just
Yep.
like ultra grippy. And then
Yep.
I'm gonna go fast because this guy's probably gonna come in and get some discs. So it goes Clash, then Infinite. Infinite's got a good
Okay.
rep.
I could
Yeah.
see that.
So Infinite, Discmania, Clash, Latitude 64 are all like within, like a couple dozen discs of each other.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty big drop off to Thought Space, then
Ooh.
Castaplast, and Prodigy are all right in the same spot. Prodigy's got a few more than Thought Space actually. And then Westside, Trash Panda, Dino Discs,
Hell yeah.
and then the worst seller in the store that's a major brand is Dynamic. So if you think about how many Discraft discs we've sold, it's like 1,200.
Yeah.
Any guesses on how many Dynamic discs we've sold in the shop?
25.
20.
37.
Wow. Wait, so my Viking runes are doing better than.
Yeah, Viking Plastics doing better, which is
Oh!
an interesting conversation to talk about between you guys as to why do you think that Dynamic is like going like this.
I'm gonna go grab a
And
dynamic.
I have
disc.
a, I
Yeah.
have a potential reasoning for it right here. You guys can talk about this.
Well, yeah, this is.
Talk about that. people
Here,
know.
grab
So-
that. I'm gonna grab another one.
I know a lot of people have seen this come out in the last couple weeks, and it's been a big discussion within the disc golf community. The Saki Bomb Generals retailing at $33 for a disc.
Most places have it posted at 39.
Yeah.
Here.
30, like Ben was just saying, they have it a lot closer to $39.
Oh, that one. This one
Um,
doesn't have it. Go
But-
ahead.
That's a lot of money for a lot of people playing disc golf.
Yeah.
I know you and I don't love spending too much. Like, we spend a lot of money in the store.
We
We
do.
buy a lot of discs, but I like to try things out, see how they feel and everything.
Mhm.
You're telling me to try out a general cost me anywhere from $33 to $40.
Yeah.
That's insane for me, like as a normal disc golfer. Now, if you want to get into like selling it to newer people and being like, this is one of the top of the line discs that you can buy right now and kind of like market as that high end thing, you can, but like that's just not what I feel like disc golf is about.
No.
I mean, the courses are already free. Like, why are we trying to make everything more expensive?
We're not trying to be golfers.
I like this felon though.
This felon does feel good.
Yeah.
I will say, where was it? Can you guys see that on the rim?
A little flashing.
That's a big flash right there.
Yeah.
Like
Oh yeah.
that should be a lap second.
Oh, absolutely.
Like if whoever's doing their qual. Okay. Anyways, besides the point. Like Dave said, I love trying new discs. And if I got into the sport and someone gave me this general and it flew like my Wraith does, and my Wraith always has, I would pay the money for this disc every day if I lost it. But I don't want to go out and try it because first off, I don't like the way it feels in my hand. It feels like a sharp destroyer.
It's meant to be an overstable disc. That's also one of the ones that's like, it's hard with a lot of their stuff. Like these two examples right here, but they're most overstable discs. 1204, 9.54, very overstable.
Yeah.
Again, being Utah elevation, you don't need that like overstability. I do have a Felon in my bag, but it's been in my bag for years. It's my forehand disc, and every time I throw it and somebody goes, "What was that?" and I'm like, "It's a Felon." They're like, "That's not how a Felon flies." It's like,
it flies like a Thunderbird. Almost.
Yeah, because it's so beat in.
Yeah, it flies like a stable Thunderbird.
Yeah, and to be honest, I don't know that I could tell you a whole lot of different dynamic discs. Like I can go through MVP and Axioms.
I got 3.
Yeah,
you're
General
holding,
Felon.
Slammer.
Okay, Saki Bomb Slammers.
That's all I know.
Another overstable putter.
Yeah, there's one in the use. Come on, there's one in the use section.
But I think they're marketing too. Like you look at these discs, right? And these are all like they're not flashy. They're not trying to.
That one's literally flashing.
Well, flashy. But you know what I mean? Like they did the little bit of swirl, but like look at how much like nicer and like to advertise kind of thing this looks. I mean, the OTB drop hexes have like an awesome design on them and everything else. Like Dynamic doesn't really like put that much effort into. I feel like their marketing.
Even just grab a Berg or something, right?
Yeah.
Like.
I mean, a Berg is they
okay,
don't need to.
So hold that up.
Yeah.
That compared to this, which one can you actually read on the camera? It's this. You can. I mean, this is the Berg, obviously, but like
this font is also horrendous. Like I don't know who their marketing person is.
You go to any one of these companies and you grab a disc, and you're like, that is that company's disc, because like, grab an Envy or like grab some random discs for me, Dave. Because that company has figured out what the disc golf community likes and what we like to see on our discs. And for the most part, it's pretty simple stuff, right? This Envy. First off, this is a beautiful Envy. I might buy this. I have too many at home. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. God, that is beautiful, though. God.
Better get it.
Can I get a discount? I know. Actually, that's a good price. Yeah, Ben, put it on my tab.
But like even like Discmania came out with their new like the stone discs, right? Like you got to collect them, kind of as this like I don't want to say advertisement PR kind of thing, but it's still just a Felon.
Yeah, I just
like you're just like, oh, okay, cool. It's like childish bold font, like I don't know. I feel like their marketing's kind of
yeah
as well.
But like MVP, you grab it their disc, except for everything except maybe the Nomad. Well, the Nomad only comes in one plastic, doesn't it? Oh, does it? Okay, so
you have the new R2s that they came out with the recycled rims, like or the glow rims on it, recycled plastic, like that looks sick and it glows.
Yeah.
Like
they just haven't figured out.
What are you doing?
You go up to that disc and you grab it and you're like, wow, that's an Envy. Right? You go to that. That's we see the Kratos back there. We see the Candy. I actually love Clash's stuff because it's just like Clash discs and one big font. Viking's pretty easy. It says Viking, and then in cool lettering it says, rune or knife. Destroyers, Let me see that.
Yeah, they got a 6 stamp on there.
First off, Halo is amazing, but these destroyers, they look good. And I'm not a big fan of white discs, but I do have a few. I don't know. So, yeah. Ben, would you like to come join us more on this? You gotta keep stickering. Well,
he's got a job to do.
Yeah, Ben is a working man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like they just need to do something different. If you're gonna charge that much for a disc, like at least make it look good.
Mhm.
Make it like give us something that is um worth spending that much for it, right?
Mhm.
Like I said, the tones I don't love spending $30 for a tone, but also nobody else MVP has their overmold, but that's like a half overmold. It's
Mhm.
only on the underside. So it's like something different. It's like a new technology basically that they're trying out
Yeah.
that nobody else does. So you can't get it except for them.
Yeah.
So that's why it kind of makes sense to be that much.
Sure.
So
Yeah. Well, it's interesting to think about. Um, I would like to say that we are helping the disc golf community because we buy a lot of weird discs. So
we do. Hey, I will advertise my crossbow, my little beefalo, till the cows come home.
go grab it.
There are none.
No, go grab mine.
Oh,
Go grab my second child. Well, Lumpy's my first child.
talking about the runes.
Okay. If you are looking for a point and shoot disc or a pixel that is in a premium plastic, here you go, people. Literally the best. My favorite disc. I have 2 aces with this mold, and I love it. They are amazing. Like, little domey. If they have a bead, so keep that in mind. But I don't know. I'm weird. I like weird discs.
Like I said, I like weird discs too, dude. Like, I enjoy throwing something that's a little bit different than what everybody else has. I know my drivers. I throw a Havoc. Not many people throw Havocs as their drivers, mostly because they're destroyer numbers, but it doesn't fly like a destroyer. So
As long as like you want it to.
yeah, it flies great for my specific throw and my arm speed.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like people just need to find what works specifically for them, and a lot of times it is the different brands, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
2 seconds, please.
no, absolutely not.
I'm putting my food away. Chill. I want to talk about one thing. We've touched on it, and we have talked about it in the past.
Mm-hmm.
I want to skip over number 5.
Okay.
Open bags. We talked about it, what, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, or I think it was last week, but last week's podcast we talked about 2 weeks ago because that one we had audio issues.
Open bags. Drew Gibson is an open bag.
Yep. He also has his own discs, so
Yeah.
he will almost never be a fully sponsored person unless somebody will.
Well, he's Infinite sponsored.
Right, but you know what I mean, though.
Yeah.
Like he's never gonna be a Discraft thrower because he has his own line of discs, and I don't think Discraft would ever be like, oh yeah, you can throw all your own finish line stuff, but you also have to throw.
I want to ask this to you and Ben. Someone gives you the option to either keep your bag and keep throwing what you like, or come sign for me. We're not going to give you any marketing deals. We're not going to show you on our front page, but you are required to throw only our discs. What's your number?
As a person, I mean, it's. I was gonna say, as me, you don't have to give me that much money to do that.
Yeah.
You can pay me fucking $100 a month, and I'll be like, cool, I'll throw all your shit. But if I was playing on the Pro Tour as a pro player, you would have to be making at least like 100 to 200,000 a year. I would say, like more than is possible to make on tour right now.
Sure.
I guess would be my answer.
Yeah. Do we see bag limitations on tour?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think the PDGA doesn't have the balls to do something like that, because then they would have to make specific rules for.
No, I'm not talking about PDGA. I'm talking about a smaller company.
The Pro Tour follows
K1.
Yeah.
Cats Plus. They don't have a full lineup.
Right.
Are their players only throwing their discs, or are they allowed to,
I think that's up to the players though, right? Like you would never have like a Trash Panda sponsored athlete because they have 3 discs.
Yeah,
And they would be like, cool, we'll pay you $1 million a year to play with only our 3 discs.
I wouldn't do it.
I think a lot of people wouldn't do it because it would just destroy you wouldn't be a Pro Tour player at that point.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't be able to throw those 3 on every course and be the only 3 that you could throw essentially, right? Like
Yeah.
you have to have all the spots available for somebody to want to really like do it. I think the smaller like brands like Clash that has like 80% of a lineup,
Mm-hmm.
I think that they could work with somebody else, like another company, like do a 2-person kind of thing,
Yeah,
like a buy sponsorship or something
Sure,
like that. Like
sure.
you could start getting into things like that, but it's just hard when you have the bigger names that are able to, accommodate not only money but like Discraft has a disc for everything under the sun, basically.
yeah. Innova's getting there.
Yeah.
I would say Innova that is there.
Innova's there. Like it's just hard when it comes to things like that, right?
I
Like
think MVP's there.
MVP's there, but it's if you're doing MVP Axiom, Streamline.
Yeah, we'll put all those
Yeah.
under one umbrella because Simon's not only just throwing Axiom.
Right.
I'd
I'd be interested to see if those guys were allowed to throw like Mint or something like that, which is still MVP molds.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, another one, Mint discs, not a big brand, but you see sponsored athletes like oh god, what's Mason Ford, sponsored by Mint discs.
Yeah,
He's out there not winning, but like
Playing
finishing
well.
top 10, playing well, like being a name. But I don't think he's only Mint sponsored. I think he has other discs in his bag as well because I don't think Mint really has a full lineup either.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I think a lot of people, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see where the money in the sport goes. Is really the answer to that.
Sure.
Like if you can make more money by winning than you can from your sponsors, then it makes sense to put together your best chances, a bag that gives you the best chance of winning, as opposed to just throwing discs to make money for throwing discs.
Sure. I like that.
You
I
know,
like that.
I think that's when you might start to see changes.
Cool. Should we do your thing?
This disc of the week this week,
Disc of the week.
the one I've been playing
Oh.
around with all day.
Ben, you want to do your gems this week or no?
Sure, yeah. You got that.
Well, we're
Already over an hour.
yeah, we're
So-
chilling.
Yeah, do your thing. I'll jump in a second.
Sweet.
Cool.
Oh wait, I want to talk about one more disc company because I think they're stupid and fun.
Oh God. That also not PDGA legal.
Not PDJ legal by any means, but a C4 frag. This is I guarantee there's more stable than a tilt.
Yeah.
Or a
And the
landmine.
landmine that Josh throws.
If you really want to look at it, the Apocalypse. Red disc, bottom trail, and the WMD. The blue disc and the red disc. bottom.
What
Yeah.
the?
Yep.
That's more stable than the tilt. The frag isn't.
So the WMD max distance driver WMD is a 15 speed, not PDGA legal. What is it, like a fucking 2.5?
No idea.
Like-
but it's actually
it-
kind of flippy.
Is it really?
That's what it's made to be.
It feels beefy in my hand.
195 grams.
Yeah. That's why it's not legal. 'Cause it's 195
This
grams.
one's only 175.
This one is legal, I believe.
The Shockwave.
It feels horrendous in my hand.
Oh, if you've ever held a salt, it feels like a
No,
salt.
the Sage.
The sage. It feels like a sage, and a tilt made a baby, and the baby came out like 10 pounds heavier than it should
Yeah.
have.
But
That's
Doomsday
crazy.
Discs, another one that has a lot of fun, weird, like you're out playing a casual round, that landmine is fun to throw. It is Tupperware. It is a Tupperware lid, but it's fun.
Yep. Okay, sorry.
No, you're good.
I saw it and I had to.
Yeah, my disc of the week is gonna have to be the Clash disc as well. So helping out Clash. It's the cinnamon. Ian and I got one of these in the mystery box that we took for getting 6 on our doubles tournament. It has the one we have has that weird overmold thing that they tried doing before the tone was a thing. It was like a double steady plastic. But I've learned to really love having this in my bag. It is way flippier for me, at least, than the numbers say. It's a neg 1.5, 2. For me, it kind of just it flips over and holds the line, or like barely fights out the end.
It's like my Sidewinder.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
it's pretty much like your Sidewinder is.
you know what I think I've noticed with Clash, because now that I've thrown a few, is Clash's like their discs are more understable than they market them to be.
I
which
think
is
they
a-
fly more true to their numbers at elevation than other brands, is what it is.
Sure.
So like when you think about certain brands, you're like, that's not a neg 1.3 or whatever, like up at least up here at elevation.
Mm-hmm.
This up here at elevation does what I think it would do, what I expect a neg 1.5 to do at sea level.
Sure.
It does it up here.
Okay, I like that.
I also just really love their plastic. Like
That does.
it
I don't
feels-
like their double steady, but that
Well,
feels good.
Yeah, that was I think a thing that they tried to do for a little while, and you were like, cool. Now they've moved on to the tones.
Mhm.
I think everything's going to be more in that like tone plastic. But for me, like this would be a great beginner, like you've been playing for a year or two, distance driver for a lot of
Mhm.
people, where it's like just flippy enough for your arm to like come up the flat, but like would hold dead straight.
Your
with a
weekend
slight
warrior.
finish. Yeah, like somebody that's still newer, like this is a good driver to get them into. I feel like for me at least.
Sure.
Well, that is my disc of the week is a cinnamon. Also a word that I couldn't say for a while.
Cinnamon?
No, remember we talked
Yeah,
about
we
this
did
when we were
talk about
editing,
this.
how I couldn't say cinnamon.
Synonym.
I would say synonym.
Synonym.
Cinnamon.
What's a synonym for cinnamon?
Exactly.
Wow.
I would do that all the time when I was
Synonym
younger,
for synonym. God, that's impossible.
and I couldn't say synonym. God damn it! I couldn't say cinnamon.
We'll move past it.
I can't.
My disc of the week is a disc that I have sold out of in the shop because of how much fun it is. This is a new mold from Discmania called a Function. This is in their Forge plastic. It's an 8.6 neg. I'm sorry. Yeah, 8.6
Yeah.
neg 4.1.
That's what I was thinking of. When,
And I was looking forward to this
It's
disc
domey.
for a really long time because I was able to throw one a while ago and they just hadn't been released to retailers yet, and we're finally able to get our hands on one, and it is genuinely, like without question, the most fun I've had with a disc in years. It is a hyzer flip machine. I don't have a ton of arm speed, and also my my natural throw is hyzered, and so I throw this thing as hard as I can on like 20 to 30 degrees of hyzer, and it is just like a bomber. The neg 4 comes in like right at the beginning of the flight where it flips up and gets to flat, but once it catches flat, the bit of dome on this thing keeps it from continuing to flip, and it just sort of holds and then pans right slowly and then has a finish. And it's an unbelievably good disc. It's like just super easy to throw. If you throw it, yeah, just on a touch of hyzer, it goes, flips up, just goes laser straight. And because of that, like easy ability to throw it without having to like really rip your arm out, you can get like 300-400 feet out of it at like 50%. And it's just wonderful. So great disc for beginners, really fun disc for folks who have been throwing for a long time. We've sold out of them in the shop, but I went and bought House of Discs out of the remaining stock. So we've got, I think, probably like 60 or 70 more coming because it's just unreal. Like, great disc.
Sick.
Can I have two?
you can have as many as you want.
Second one
Okay.
is another Clash one. I know that Dave just hit it, but this is the Tone Popcorn. This is their tone technology applied to their popcorn mold. Great surprise for me. The salt came out a little bit inconsistent. This disc has not. It is just a nice, stable, glidey, easy to throw, throwing putter. They knocked it out of the park with this one. Tone Popcorn, and then the Ben's Gems.
Ben's Gems.
only
We've
have
added a new section to the shop, and it's used dyes. I know folks are really stoked on dyes, and so we've pulled out some like local dyes that are used and put them over there. And this one happens to come from a pretty incredible dyer by the name of Jory's Fly Dyes. He does Eagles dyes, and he is an old Salt Lake Tunnel Runners founder. He currently lives out in Oregon and is a great dude. And yeah, this is an infinite disc Pharaoh with a Jory die on it for $15 because dye discs are pretty rad, and it's cool to support people's art on discs. And so It's over in our gem section for $15.
Heck
Sick.
yeah. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. So
Thank you.
Love
good
the new
dis-
sections.
Yeah.
Love you
Thanks.
sections. Sick.
Hell yeah, dude.
I think that's it.
That's all we had planned for this week.
Real quick.
Glad. Yep.
I want.
We also got the new.
New thing. If you come into the shop on Mondays, Tuesdays, or Wednesdays and make a purchase, you can make a bet on who's going to win the upcoming tournament. If you get it right and guess closest as to their score, tiebreaker, you get $20 at the shop.
You also don't have to pay anything into it because we are in Utah and that is not allowed.
That is illegal.
It says no minimum necessary.
Yes.
I
I just wanted to throw that out there so there's no.
no confuzzle.
Yeah, Utah likes to be weird with their laws. Oh, you're good.
Okay. If you guys haven't been to the shop, here it is. It looks great. Ben
Ben's-
just got 1.5 million new Innova discs.
680.
680. So 1.5 million in disc golf sense.
Yep.
Juno is obviously here. Good girl, Juno.
Peppers.
Oh, Juno.
Queen of our hearts.
Queen of our hearts. We
And-
still have jerseys left, hoodies. We got the Buzz jerseys. I want to go grab those.
Two hats left.
2 hats left. I might buy
Stock.
one of those then.
Stock to the gills out here still.
First off, these Buzz jerseys, I might just have to buy one because they're so sick. Please come buy one. These things are so sick.
They look great.
Oh my god, I just clipped it on myself. The jerseys are still in. If you haven't seen the jersey while you're living under a rock, disc hoodies, and coming soon to your local another round. Ben, you want to give them the announcement?
About what?
Oh, come on, man.
Oh, come on, man.
Come on, man. Party shirt?
Oh, yeah, Parts International.
Would you have a date yet?
My shirts are here. I just need to get the embroidery on them.
Sweet. Shirts, party shirts will be sold in the shop coming soon. I'm stoked on that. I'm super stoked on that. Because it's my 2 of my 4 worlds put together into one.
Oh yeah.
So, all right. Well, this is now a vlog.
Yeah. Now we've gone vlog mode on this this podcast, trying to show the shop off. So, hell yeah, guys. Well, that's all we have for this week.
I think so. Cool.
Let's get it, bud.
Cool. We will see you guys next week. Awesome video coming up Friday. We're hopefully gonna have an ozone video up on Sunday.
Yep.
If not, it'll be a
It'll be a clash.
clash thingy, and then after that, we hope and pray we have something really big in plan that we've been trying to do for 2 months now.
Yeah.
And the first time we tried to do it, someone forgot the batteries. And we're gonna move on, but we have something soon.
It was fine. The course is flooded.
Okay. Yeah, we didn't.
We weren't gonna do it anyway.
I know. But I hope you guys enjoyed. We will see you soon. A lot of content coming out soon, and I don't say it, so I'm not gonna say it. You guys have a great day.
Peace.
Peace.